traveling at what now it looks like 85 miles an hour southbound 101, and we'll see which direction this driver takes once he gets to that 4 level.
You know, the thing about these kind of cars is that they tend to fishtail. You know, if you take them, it's not really one of those cars that is made for very high speeds.
It's not low
you know,
to the
and
ground.
exactly, and he's gonna be weaving in and out. We saw him doing that earlier, trying to make it on the shoulder, Gil, and you know, the tendency for these kind of cars to fishtail out, you know, is high.
That is so true. The other difficulty for the police is trying to do a pit maneuver on a heavy vehicle like this. So that may not be in the works. Definitely not right now in this traffic, and definitely not with these speeds.
And just to give you guys a recap, this here starting in Baldwin Park. Baldwin Park PD are still behind that vehicle as CHP is trying to get involved, as we could see here on the right-hand shoulder here.
30 minutes.
Yeah, as you see there,
Sorry about that,
it looks like we have
sure.
several CHP now getting involved in that pursuit. This is the 101 southbound. Was traveling on 10 West, started in Baldwin Park, eventually getting on the 101 northbound, getting off near Sunset Boulevard, and then turning back around going southbound once the driver here hits some traffic. But as you can see here now, you have more vehicles involved here. As you mentioned, Gil, he had about a mile in front of him before he was going to run into this slowdown, and it looks like that's what he's facing now.
Yes, and good call, Pedro and Cher, with the CHP now taking the lead on this pursuit. That traffic break was actually a blessing for the CHP to get units into position behind this pursuit, and now they are the lead agency with Baldwin Park and Trail. But now, again, southbound 101. We'll see if the driver decides to go back east on that 10 freeway back to Baldwin Park or not, but still coming up to the 4 level here in just about 2 miles. And I'm looking out the window ahead to see what the traffic looks like. It's moving about like it is right now, so the driver shouldn't have any problems with traffic slowing down too much when he gets to the 4 level.
We've got the night sun on him. We've got CHP as well. He's going at about normal speeds right now. We did see this the suspect who they were actually in pursuit because there were reports of a man shooting a gun in the air, and then this pursuit began in Baldwin Park about half an hour ago, from what we understand. There are 2 people in the car making their way on the 101 South. Coming up, they're going to have Glendale Boulevard, as you see there, making their way through Echo Park, and they'll have a choice here on whether or not they're going to take the 101 or they're going to take the 5 freeway and you know, or make their way into Pasadena. But it looks like they're choosing right now to take the 101 south and into downtown Los Angeles.
It doesn't have much space there, too, on the side.
Right up against that vehicle. It looks like it's going to be the southbound 110.
110
now,
it
from
is,
the 101.
right.
Yeah, there we go. And we'll see what the traffic is like through the downtown slot there. Look at that northbound side. It's heavy, but the southbound looking a little bit better than the northbound. Here he goes on the gas, and the next freeway will be the 10 freeway they'll approach.
Heading back towards the 10, as you see this vehicle picking up speed right now, traveling, it looks like here on the 110. That vehicle picking up speed. We know 2 people are inside of that car as they have the, it looks like are they getting off right here?
That's the, I believe it's the 3rd or 4th Street bridge. They're having a difficult time turning there. There you go, Cher, losing a little bit of control. They're saying the CHP helicopter overhead. And now into downtown LA, eastbound, it's 4th Street from the 110 freeway. Now we're going to have the buildings to contend with here, but now he's into LAPD's jurisdiction. That would be Central Division, and he's going to continue eastbound through the building. So we'll continue to pick up this chase here. But we'll see what happens with the LAPD if they pick it up. A little difficult here to track it with the buildings, but we're going to get around those here in a second and continue watching this pursuit unfold right through that intersection at a high rate of speed and blowing through that one as well. Very short blocks here as the pursuit is on 4th Street and continuing right through that signal. So again, just blowing through the intersections here. Very dangerous situation. Might have hit some traffic here. Let's see what happens.
You know, what's dangerous about this is that he's getting into that area. If he's on 4th and Main, you know, there are a lot of restaurants in that area. It is a Thursday night, and many people probably out and about. And There he is. We can see him right under that building right there. Looks like he's making that left turn there.
Staying straight.
Oh, no, staying straight. Okay. There he is. Staying straight here on 4th Street, making his way. I know, it's so hard.
Someone looks like, did you see that? I don't know if you saw there, Gil. Someone was coming up the top there of the sunroof. Or
I did. I saw that.
Yeah, it looked like either the person came out of the sunroof or put their hands out through the sunroof.
Yes.
Don't know if they had anything or whatever, but
well, let's remember that they are wanted for shooting a gun in the air, and so, you know, you have to treat this as well as that they are armed. You know, if that was the original want, and then decided to flee, you know.
And right there, pausing before going through the intersections, but we have seen so far during this pursuit in downtown LA, the driver has been blowing through red lights, trying to evade law enforcement. Is the LAPD getting involved at this point?
I'm listening to the LAPD
right
Central Division.
Oh, there he is.
There
Let's zoom in.
If we could.
He's,
sticking out of the sunroof, in and out, like a jack in the box.
Yeah, we have that building in the way there. Exactly, and popped out and then back in. It looked like he was facing backwards, maybe gesturing to the police in trail there, but now he's back inside once again. So we're eastbound 4th, approaching Molino. Speed still high for surface streets, and so far, LAPD, CHP saying LAPD is not able to take over, likely due to the speed and how fast this vehicle's traveling here over the bridge there and over the LA River here now, as it goes into the Boyle Heights area, and still eastbound 4th Street, and is going to have the opportunity possibly here to get on the 101 freeway once again, and might take that south into the East LA interchange. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're getting into a more industrial area here of downtown LA, and moving east here. And not as many establishments, you know, where you would see people walking around, getting out of their restaurants and so forth. But nonetheless, a dangerous situation as you see him driving on the other side of the street just to get, you know, on the wrong direction on the other side of the street. Did not blow through that light, but did blow through a bunch of other red lights before that. Now blowing through a red light there in that intersection, and possibly going to make his way. Let's see. Oh,
almost. There's a pedestrian in the crosswalk there.
Is he making it onto the freeway? Oh my God, he's going the wrong way. As he's trying to get onto the freeway.
This is going to be very dangerous. Yes, he's on the freeway. This is the northbound side. But look at that. I think he just realized that. Cut right in front of that car. Oh man. Made that U-turn onto it's the 101 freeway here. It's the transition from the East LA interchange on the 101 freeway from 4th Street. Got on the wrong direction. Look at the officers there making their moves to adjust, try to get back on the freeway. So they're on surface streets. He's on the freeway, but the helicopter is overhead. And here comes the California Highway Patrol joining in with the pursuit once again. So the driver thinking that he made a fast move on the officers, wrong. They made the turn and got behind him.
And as you can see, picking up speed, hitting over 100 miles per hour as the driver is trying to get away. This on the 101 freeway, right?
Right. Now, this lane, I believe, will take him back onto the 10 eastbound here. So it's going to be, well, it might be the exit. Let's see here. No, he's transitioning to the 10 freeway eastbound. So it looks like he's heading back towards the Baldwin Park area.
Yeah, they tend to make these gigantic loops, sometimes small, sometimes big, and this is a big, gigantic loop it looks like that the guy's going for. Always trying to get back to a place that they are familiar with. It seems to be the tendency, so that maybe they can foot bail and hide in somebody's house while they're making phone calls to see that, you know, how they can get away and evade police. You know, but look, we've got CHP on him. We've got our television crew on him. And we also have a helicopter with the night sun on him. So they're not getting away and just only prolonging what the inevitable is. And usually that's going to be custody. You know, at this point, you know, you know what I'd actually like to do is re-rack the video of the guy coming up from the sunroof if we can. This is them through downtown Los Angeles just moments ago. And you see right there the passenger, because there are two people in this car, almost taunting officers behind him. you know, popping in and out of that sunroof.
And the thing that makes it dangerous is because this original call was about a man shooting a gun into the sky, right? It's shooting off shots. So Baldwin Park PD, that's where it all started. They were behind this vehicle, and then eventually it led to this chase that you see here. So even though this person, whoever's popping out the sunroof, either taunting, you still have to be careful, right?
100%.
You assume that these people are armed and dangerous, so you think about that as they continue their pursuit here. But on the right side is where you're going to see that person pop up any second now.
Right.
On the left?
Yeah, screen left. We've got the live pictures right now as they're making their way through the 10 westbound. We want to go up to Gil Levis. Gil?
Yeah, we're actually eastbound on the 10.
Eastbound.
And the vehicle in the fast lane, they're weaving in and out of traffic. The driver there had trying to get out of the way. But the vehicle slowed down a little bit here. We haven't seen that passenger pop out of that sunroof again since it's been on the freeway. But California Highway Patrol back on the freeways here and back in the mix here with the pursuit. LAPD never did get involved in the pursuit, so it's been CHP and the Baldwin Park Police Department still in trail with this because they are the original agency that went into pursuit. But here we are. I believe we are just past the 710 freeway now and continuing towards the Baldwin Park area.
You know, this has been a very dangerous pursuit. We not only have they gone, you know, over 100 miles per hour at the beginning of it. They're wanted for shooting shooting a gun in the air. We did see the passenger popping in and out of the sunroof, and then we have this video from moments ago of when they went on the off-ramp on going the wrong way. As you can see, those arrows pointing the opposite direction, and this was just, I mean.
Yeah, you're going to see those two vehicles that are approaching right here have to slam on their brakes to avoid a car accident. And this is just one of the many things, like you mentioned. Also, in downtown LA, with so many people down there, so much congestion, blowing through red lights, not slowing down at pretty much any point as vehicles, police, you have the CHP in pursuit. And these are live images that you're taking a look right now as that driver is picking up speed, has been hitting anywhere between 100 miles per hour and consistently around 75, trying to evade. But at this point, you just hope the driver can slow down and just call it a day. They're behind you, and you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, the time is on the side of the CHP and any other assisting agency that might get involved in this. You know, they do this thing where they hand off as they move through the jurisdictions here. You know, so they'll stay on a period of time. They want to get a fresh pair of eyes on the vehicle. And, you know, it's a very intense situation that they go through here, Gil, as officers in pursuit of these suspects.
Yeah, it's definitely dangerous. The fact that this person or someone in the vehicle may have been shooting off a gun into the air. We don't know if it was while they were driving or maybe parked somewhere out on the street and then jumped into the vehicle. We just don't know that yet. But right now, the speeds are up high, 85 miles an hour or so, eastbound 10 freeway, past Garfield, and heading back towards Baldwin Park. Right now, the traffic is moderate out here. It's moving, so there's not going to be an issue with traffic per se. But right now, the California Highway Patrol still in pursuit, and what they do is they'll hand off to the other area's agency as they move into a different area. So right now it's the East LA CHP that has the pursuit, but soon it'll be Baldwin Park CHP that will pick it up and hand off from one of those divisions to the other.
Not sure if this Chevy Suburban can handle 113 miles per hour for a
say,
long time, but there we go.
Oh, right there.
Here he is. Is she asking for help?
That's a tough call. I don't know if he's taunting or maybe,
It looked like someone waving their hands. If we could,
it
right
could
here.
be gang signs they're flashing.
Can we zoom in? It looks like some kind of signs of sort.
Yeah,
it didn't look like someone necessarily waving their hands back and forth, more like, you know, with their hands and fingers.
Yeah,
You know,
it's difficult to tell.
Very difficult to tell.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, Cher made an interesting point earlier that when you're going speeds like this with a vehicle of that size, it's not designed to be going around turns. We saw at one point when the driver originally got off for a second, going really fast into downtown LA on 4th Street, came around that turn and kind of almost fishtailed in the back.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Gil, what can they do? What can CHP do except for stay behind, stay close or relatively close, and hope that this person just foot bails or stops?
Yes. Well, Pedro and Cher, they can definitely do a spike strip at some point. It's a little difficult on how wide this freeway is and how much traffic there is. Very difficult to get that into place, but it's doable. They can get a unit up ahead, maybe under a bridge where it's dark, where this driver can't see it being placed, and then runs over it at the high rate of speed they're traveling. They may not even see it coming. So that's an option definitely to get those tires punctured like we saw in the previous pursuit where they did slow down the vehicle enough to do the pit maneuver. And that will be an option here to get this vehicle at least slow down to a point where they could possibly do that pit maneuver on the vehicle. But at this point, it's full speed ahead into and towards Baldwin Park. We have the 605 freeway coming up in about 3 miles or so, and we'll see what happens once we get into that Baldwin Park area.
Yeah, a very strange behavior here from the passenger of this vehicle. From what we know, there are 2 people in this vehicle, a passenger, obviously the driver. We don't know if there are any more people in this vehicle. It was difficult to, decipher whether those signs were
Help or taunting or something.
Exactly. And, so we're going to try and examine that video and see if we can get a closer shot exactly what's going on there. But again, this is a suspect wanted for shooting a gun in the air. We're not sure if that was from the vehicle, outside the vehicle. The pursuit started about half an hour ago in Baldwin Park. We are headed back in that direction. It's been a large loop right now from Baldwin Park at the initiation of this pursuit through the 10 East all the way to Hollywood, and then an exit right by the KTLA station here on Sunset Boulevard, making that quick Sunset exit and crossing over to the southbound 101 and into downtown Los Angeles, exiting out of downtown Los Angeles there on 4th Street and making its way through surface streets, blowing through intersections, and now making another exit here in Baldwin Park, right where we started.
But you're going to have to slow down, right? I mean, that vehicle is not made to go around turns that fast. So as you can see, that driver's slowing down. Gil, can we zoom out a little bit just to see what's ahead?
Yeah, we got a vehicle in front of the pursued vehicle. It looks like he's transitioned here onto the 605 southbound. So that's what the driver's done here. You see the CHP trying to set up the block behind the vehicle there to get traffic so that they don't pass the vehicle. But yeah, at this point now, southbound 605 from the 10, and we'll be moving towards the 60 freeway. So we'll see if the driver yet again goes westbound on the 60 or not.
Right. The behavior of this driver has been so erratic, and so obviously there's more than just shooting a gun into the air that they're running from.
And it looks like the driver's exiting right now. Here, it looks like exit 21 Valley Boulevard as the driver's coming around.
Yep, here he goes eastbound. It's going to be eastbound on Valley, back under the freeway. And this puts it into the Avocado Heights area. And yeah, so now we're on surface streets once again. Now the California Highway Patrol can coordinate with, it's going to be the LA County Sheriffs in this area to do a spike strip on the streets. It's going to be much easier to do that. Lanes are narrower and a lot of spots where the police can do that. But look at that. Here we go, out the sunroof again.
Oh, yeah, and you can see right here that, that looks like taunt. That's clearly taunting there. And it looks like 2 people are doing it right now. So there has to be more than 2 people. There's a driver you could see driving, and then we saw 2 people come out the sunroof. So we know at least 3, right?
3 people inside at least. And there could be more. You know, we've got tinted windows here. Those windows have not yet come down. The only thing that we've been able to see is the driver and these now 2 people that are coming out of the, is that a woman?
Not positive, but clearly
here we go.
taunting.
What's happening here?
Wow, a fire truck there and an ambulance that was responding to something different right there, stuck in the middle of that intersection, the driver making a turn between those 2 vehicles. But wow, what a dangerous situation with that person hanging out of the vehicle. And maybe I can ask you guys, Pedro and Cher, is that are they children? Do they look like maybe young adults?
They do look young.
They do look young to me.
Very.
So,
that was the first thing I thought when I saw the second person pop up. They do look young. The other one, not sure if it's a female or a male. The person had their hood up, so we couldn't really tell, but they did look pretty young.
Wow, what a dangerous situation here. The driver in white, I can see he's wearing white, and looks like he was using a cell phone or maybe an iPad as he's driving there. You can see that light there every once in a while. It looks like it's in his right hand. But again, here we go, northbound, let's see here. This is going to be Vineland Avenue in the City of Industry. Night sunlight overhead from the helicopter lighting us up. And we are in the, I believe, the sheriff's territory right now, but that they can get involved. So we'll see, we'll try to listen up to the sheriffs to see if they're participating or at least assisting in this pursuit. But again, out the sunroof goes one of them for a second and then back in.
Yeah, we're going to try and take a closer look at that video. They did look pretty young. There we go again. There they are. They keep on popping out and doing something with their hands, but this driver is not letting up and still making his way through this pursuit now in the City of Industry, borderline of West Puente Valley, California, on Vineland. Now, you know, this is the issue in this neighborhood. You do see some residences in this area. If you are watching, this is a good time to make sure that your doors and windows are locked. You never know when this might come to a stop and that there could be a foot bail. Again, they are wanted for shooting a gun in the air, so we believe that they are armed, and you just wouldn't want to leave anything open and put yourself in that vulnerable situation where they can use your home as a place of refuge.
You see the video here from earlier where we were talking about those 2 people popping out of the sunroof. It was believed at the time that there was only 2 people in the car, but as you can see here, 2 people pop up from the sunroof, taunting, as you can see. The driver still wearing white in the driver's seat, so we know at least 3 people. And even on the left side, that's a live image of those people still popping their heads out of the sunroof, taunting police. Obviously looking to get some attention.
Yeah, waving at police. They're still there. These are live pictures again of this pursuit that's been going on for more than half an hour now from Baldwin Park, and made a big, huge loop all the way to Hollywood and back here at Baldwin Park. And this is what is the precarious situation, Gil. We've got somebody with their head out of the sunroof. There's 3 people now inside this car. What are the chances of even doing a pit maneuver here?
I don't think the CHP will do it when they're out the window like that. No way.
Exactly.
It's too dangerous. And now wrong side of the road on that turn. But yeah, at this point, I think the best hope is going to be these spike strips somewhere up ahead if they can get that coordinated with the Sheriff's Department. We're in Baldwin Park now, and now maybe the Baldwin Park police can get a spike strip in place in front of the vehicle. But yeah, with those 2 people hanging out, one out the sunroof and one out the rear driver's side window at one point. There you go. See him coming out there.
There we go.
Oh,
that's a situation where those people are not seatbelted in, and a pit maneuver will spin that vehicle around, and it can be trouble for those 2 that are not seatbelted.
Not very smart here. This is where it all started in Baldwin Park. That initial call came out that someone was shooting a gun in the air. Baldwin Park PD getting behind this vehicle, and that's when it started 10 west to the 101 north and eventually to the 110. Came by the KTLA studios, Sunset, turned back around, getting on the 110 southbound, and then eventually downtown. And when they were downtown, it was very dangerous, blowing through red lights like we're seeing here. Driving erratically, even going wrong way in one direction, forcing drivers to slam their brakes.
On a freeway
off-ramp.
On a freeway.
get involved in an accident. And as you can see here, red light, slowing down a little bit before making that left turn. That's the most cautious they've driven all day.
Here we go. We've got a little bit better look at the driver. And here comes the CHP getting awfully close. Looked like he was about to perform a pit maneuver, Gil, but, we see that these people, the other passengers, are not in their seats with seat belts as they're hanging out the window and sunroof.
Right, and that CHP unit there getting, like you said, right into that position, right on that back rear bumper to do that pit, but they decided not to. And now southbound, I believe this is on Vineland Avenue in Baldwin Park, and coming up into a neighborhood now. And we'll see what happens. Goes wide there on that turn, almost hits the vehicle that looked like there was a parked car underneath the tree. And now back northbound here. So, wow, into a neighborhood, quiet neighborhood here in Baldwin Park. And maybe this is going to be an area where the driver and passengers are familiar with.
Yeah, it almost feels like we're close to a foot bail. Wishful thinking, perhaps, because at this point they haven't harmed anybody, which is good news. And you just hope that, as they're making these, loops, that they don't, get into an accident with another car, a pedestrian, whatever it might be, because they really have no regard whatsoever for anybody's safety, as we saw when they were getting onto the freeway on-ramp, which was actually an off-ramp.
And important to keep in mind, if you do live in this Baldwin Park area, like you mentioned earlier, Cher, if they are familiar with the community, if they are, and you decide to foot bail, you want to make sure that your doors are locked. You don't want anyone foot belling and going into your house or garage or anything, so just make sure you're staying safe out there, anyone in Baldwin Park.
And another thing that we find is that people tend to go outside of their homes and want to post this on social media, and you get a bunch of looky-loos wanting to capture the excitement. But this is a very dangerous situation. When this does come to a stop, the cops will have their guns drawn. And it's just better to just watch this right here at home with your doors locked and windows locked.
They're considered armed and dangerous. This all started in Baldwin Park when there was a report of someone firing gunshots into the air. So you have to imagine that's how they're treating this as suspects in this vehicle, armed and dangerous. Slowing down, it looks like they continue to make circles here. What does it look like to you, Gil? Almost as if like you're looking for somewhere to stop.
Yeah, definitely they're familiar with this area. It seems like they know which way to turn, and it's just a matter of time here before they find the right spot. The CHP right behind them, the airship overhead, so I don't think they feel comfortable abandoning the vehicle and jumping out and running unless it's in an area they know very well where they can hide or seek shelter in a house.
It looks like they're only comfortable just taunting at this point. Doing it again right here. It looks like waving and throwing their hands up. Both people right there from the sunroof as the driver continues.
4.
You said 4?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, it looks like there's 2 out of the sunroof, 1 out of the side behind the driver's side, the rear window. I saw a third person there, and then the driver. So it looks like 4 now in the vehicle.
And you worry about that, right? If this person gets into flips that vehicle, you got multiple people inside. It's just not safe. Not safe.
So we're
extremely dangerous. And
look at this as he's making that sharp turn, and looked like he almost tipped over, fishtailing a little bit, and
no, he hit that car. That's it. This is going to be it.
Yeah,
that's it. And we'll see if they jump out or not. But yeah, look at this. Officers are out of their vehicles so fast.
Oh, they have their hands up.
That might have been an undercover vehicle right there. That's how fast those officers were able to jump out and bring it to an end when it hit that pickup truck. This is going to be Bogart Avenue with the cross of Clark Street, and now the other officers moving in to bring this pursuit finally to an end. It hit that parked truck when that unmarked vehicle there. I believe that was a undercover or there we go. The someone's out of the vehicle right now on the ground.
Passenger.
We'll see who else comes out. Passenger there. Okay, very good. But yeah, it looked like those undercover officers there in the blue pants were the ones in that black vehicle that brought it to an end. So they may have known that where this vehicle was from, where the the occupants were living, and this looks like they were in the right area at the right time, and we're able to get now the it looks like second of 4 passengers or 4 people in custody. Here goes the first one that they got, and they just pulled out the second one out of the rear. They have the driver at gunpoint and at least one other one in the car.
Yeah, pointing in the back seat.
They certainly are. Again, 4 people in this car. The pursuit just came to an end. This is awfully close for CHP officers to be. Usually, they will go behind their vehicle and with cover from their car door, from their unit, and ask for the suspects to come out. But they are just grabbing the suspects from the car, and it looks like as if...
I believe so.
Yeah, it looks as if that they just got the driver there. That's a third person from the car, and they've got all of their guns pointing into this Chevy Suburban that collided with another car here on Bogart Avenue in Baldwin Park. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 officers, 6 officers with their guns pointed right into that car as they're waiting for the last person to get out and into custody.
The door was pinned. So that person couldn't get out, but
there's the driver.
That's the driver there, and there's still one more person in the car that was inching. You can see from the sunroof, inching his way out, and as you can see now, several law enforcement officers putting the handcuffs on and arresting him.
Yeah, so we've got 4 suspects. They're going to now check the vehicle. As you can see, that one officer there with a flashlight in the back there to make sure that the vehicle is clear and that they have everybody in custody that was in this vehicle. And there you go. It's going to be a long night for these guys and probably a couple days at least. But the list is long for all of the charges that they're going to that they accumulated from just the last 45 minutes of this pursuit.
And we saw during this pursuit they were taunting, speeding, going through several intersections at a high rate of speed on the highway and the freeway, going at least 100 miles per hour several times, consistently driving around 80 miles, driving on the wrong way, going on a southbound on-ramp, going in the wrong direction. Like you mentioned, Cher, a long list of charges. As you can see right here, this is where it all came to an end. That vehicle looks like an undercover vehicle because immediately right here, guns drawn, pointed at the car. That white vehicle tried to swerve in between the undercover vehicle and that red truck, eventually colliding into that red truck.
And this was certainly a dangerous pursuit. It looks like these kids, that they're kids over here, you know, and there's the driver of this car, the Chevy Suburban that took the Baldwin PD and CHP for quite a ride, you know, for about an hour from Baldwin Park all the way through Hollywood and back here at Baldwin Park, then colliding into that car, which could be an undercover cruiser, yeah. And it was just unusual to see the officers that close, at close range with their guns drawn at the car and pulling the suspects out, taking, you know, not even taking a minute to think about it and just saying, this is what we're doing. You're all under arrest.
And they had to do it quickly. You didn't know if these people were armed or not. The original call coming out of Baldwin Park was that someone was shooting a gun in the air, and that's how this entire situation started. So those officers clearly had their guns drawn, you know, ready for what was going to happen. I'm thankful that it looks like everyone was able to be taken out in handcuffs, and there was nothing else that followed.
Setting up for it. Here it comes on the bumper, spinning it out. Sparks flying there.
And now to another pursuit. This suspect in custody tonight as well after leading police on a 2-hour chase through the streets of Orange County that ended with a pair of pit maneuvers. And it all began in Anaheim around 8 o'clock when officials spotted the stolen Range Rover and tried to pull the driver over. The chase finally ended in Fullerton just before 10 o'clock at a gas station near the intersection of Commonwealth Avenue and North Gilbert Street.
Now at 11, as Russian troops move closer to major cities, Ukrainian fighters strike back, destroying tanks and slowing their advance. With the war in Ukraine entering its 3rd week, Russian forces are facing fierce resistance, but Ukrainians are enduring a brutal bombardment of rockets and artillery fire.
KTLA's John Finolio has been tracking today's developments, and he joins us live from the KTLA newsroom with more. John.
Well, Sharon, Pedro, tonight, U.S. intelligence officials say Russian forces are moving closer to the capital city of Kyiv. This as another round of talks between Russia and Ukraine this morning ended without any progress on a ceasefire. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country will never surrender to Russia.
Following more than a week of heavy shelling, citizens in the southern Ukrainian city of Mariupol are burying